Hey, it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Hey, y'all, just right quick, if you have not made it over to my True Crime Talk YouTube channel, please do so. Hit the subscribe button and turn the notifications on. That is where I will be doing true crime stories on. I do have a few videos on that channel already, so definitely head over there, hit the subscribe button, turn those notifications on. So today we're going to be going on to Stefon Diggs' petition that he actually filed against Mulan Hernandez um, earlier this week. I want to say on Wednesday, and he's suing her and her friend for trespassing, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and so much more. So, we're going to take a deep dive into this 13-page petition and see what is going on. I tell you what, these lawsuits are coming back to back to back to back this year. Nobody is safe in this game. I don't care if you are a freaking celebrity or not a non-celebrity. People are handing out lawsuits like Christmas presents, and it's not a joke. It is not a joke. So let's tap right on into this lawsuit. So he ended up suing, as I stated, her and her friend. So if y'all do not know, Mulan Hernandez is her stage name. Her real name is Mia Shamir Jones, and her friend Brianna Mack. And as I said, this was filed in Houston in Harris County on Wednesday, on the 26th of February. And this let's just tap into this, y'all. It is wild what's going on. And y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. But let's tap in. Introduction. In the months leading up to June 7, 2024, plaintiff and defendant Mia Jones, aka Mulan Hernandez, had a casual relationship. Plaintiff allowed Jones and even her friends to occasionally stay at plaintiff's downtown Houston apartment. Jones partied the evening of June 6, 2024 through the early morning of June 7, 2024. At around 6 a.m. on June 7th, Jones arrived at plaintiff's apartment. Jones proceeded to assault plaintiff and destroy his valuable property. These events were witnessed by defendant Brianna Mack, who was present in the apartment as well. Despite plaintiff's repeated pleas, Jones and Mack refused to leave plaintiff's apartment. The evening of June 7, 2024, following her long night of partying, Jones made a hospital visit for nausea and vomiting, received a negative CT scan, and was given standard anti-nausea medication. During this visit, Jones specifically denied suffering physical abuse of any kind. She reported falling on the kitchen floor because the floor was wet. Jones was discharged from the hospital merely an hour after she was checked in. On June 14, 2024, Jones made a second medical visit, this time to a different medical provider, having already visited a hospital the evening of June 7th for nausea and vomiting symptoms. During the second visit, Jones claimed falsely that she was punched in the back of the head with a closed fist. In the weeks and months that followed, Jones and Mack, both individually and with assistance of counsel, tried to use their newly spun tale of abuse to extort millions of dollars from plaintiff, but plaintiff has refused to bend to defendant's extortionate conduct. Said simply, plaintiff brings this case because he will not be victimized by the attempts of defendants to extort money from him. It is defendants who are liable to plaintiff, but not the other way around. Plaintiff now seeks redress for defendant's misconduct and destruction of his property. So I'm pretty sure, well, I'm not pretty sure, there you go through pre-litigation before you get to the litigation part, in which you send a demand letter. So more than likely, um, they probably Jones and her friend probably sent a demand letter to Stefon and saying, hey, this is what happened. We're demanding this, this, and this. Okay. He wasn't having it, so he was like, let me go ahead and file a lawsuit. And that's what he did. All right, so plaintiff and Jones relationship. Plaintiff Stefon Diggs is an extremely accomplished professional football player who has developed a good name for himself, not only on the field but also off the field through his philanthropic efforts such as the Diggs Deep Foundation. Defendant Mia Jones, who goes by Mulan Hernandez, publicly dubs herself to be a social media influencer and club host. Jones found some notoriety in 2022 with a series of social media posts accusing her then boyfriend, a professional basketball player, of cheating on her. Jones also received publicity in 2023 following an alleged physical altercation over a different man. Defendant Brianna Bree Mack is Jones' friend and co-conspirator, as described in further detail below. Plaintiff and Jones developed a casual relationship in 2024. As the time progressed, Jones began frequently staying at plaintiff's downtown Houston apartment. Jones took advantage of plaintiff's generosity, welcoming herself and her friends to plaintiff's apartment, whether he asked ahead of time or not. Jones' assault of plaintiff and destruction of his property. Plaintiff and Jones were supposed to see each other at the apartment on the evening of June 5, 2024. Instead, Jones was out partying until 4 a.m. The plaintiff left the apartment while Jones was out with his friends. Jones was furious that plaintiff had left the apartment because she finished partying. The next morning, Jones admitted she was drunk and apologized. They decided to try again the evening of June 6. On the night of June 6, 2024, and into the morning of June 7th, Jones stayed out partying. She was also joined by her friend Brianna Mack. Jones had earlier informed plaintiff that she would arrive at plaintiff's apartment before hours beforehand, but Jones did not return until around 6 a.m. In the early morning of June 7, 2024, plaintiff was in and out of his apartment due to work commitments in preparation for a work trip. Plaintiff had left the apartment before Jones and Mack finished their night. Plaintiff returned to the apartment around 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Simply trying to relax for his trip upon returning to his apartment, plaintiff went to his master bedroom closet, which dubbed as a private gaming room with a PC gaming system, shutting the door behind him. Despite plaintiff going into a separate room to play a video game to distance himself, Jones began to aggressively berate plaintiff. Based on prior experiences and Jones' demeanor at the time, plaintiff believes alcohol and recreational drug use played a part in her manic behavior. The combination of lack of sleep and alcohol-controlled substance use the night of June 7th appeared to have warped Jones's judgment and perception of reality. Jones burst through the bathroom and into the gaming room, visibly intoxicated and upset. Plaintiff told Jones to leave, but she refused. Plaintiff attempted to defuse the situation by attempting to remove himself from Jones's line of fire, but she continued to uh, castigate him. Jones slammed plaintiff's video game console on the ground. When Jones realized the console was not damaged enough to satisfy her, she picked it up and threw it down again to ensure that the console was destroyed. I would be mad. I would be furious if you take my game and you throw it on the ground and realize it's not damaged, then pick it up and throw it on. I would be pissed. I'm a gamer too. So when I don't not take care of my kids, not doing work, not doing YouTube, I will hop on the game. And me and my boyfriend has separate game systems, so nobody can't play on my game system. We all, my boyfriend has a game system, my kids has a game system, and it just what it is. But no, don't take my valuables and be slamming them down. Don't do that. I would be pissed. Jones proceeded to grab plaintiff's valuable wristwatch off the bathroom counter. The watch was estimated value of approximately $130,000. Jones moved it to the bathroom as plaintiff reached for the watch and Jones slammed it to the ground. The wristwatch was severely damaged. Not satisfied, Jones then grabbed plaintiff's personal cell phone and tossed it into the toilet. Jones punched plaintiff in the chest multiple times while yelling, "I'm not going anywhere," and she threw additional punches that plaintiff was able to evade. With Mac in the bed, Jones then placed her knee on the bed, looked at Mac, and said, "Oh, we got him now." Jones refused to leave and threateningly said to plaintiff, "You won't be playing this year," thereby clearly threatening to destroy plaintiff and his career. Plaintiff has serious concerns over his personal safety during this ordeal. On several occasions, Jones threatened plaintiff with a dangerous weapon, including a firearm Jones had stowed in the apartment. Any physical contact plaintiff had with Jones throughout her onslaught was to defend himself from her abuse. Plaintiff did not strike, punch, kick, or attack Jones in any manner whatsoever, and any touching between plaintiff and Jones during the deranged phase was initiated by Jones. Throughout Jones's tirade, plaintiff implored Mac to tell him what is going on and that the two women need to leave his property. Plaintiff had a brief discussion with Mac wherein she agreed to help remove Jones from plaintiff's apartment. Those efforts, however, were unsuccessful and Jones refused to leave the apartment. Plaintiff offered to provide Jones and Mac with transportation to wherever they wanted, but neither left the apartment until sometime after he did. All right, so now we're diving into the medical treatment for nausea and vomiting. And it says Jones seeks medical treatment for nausea and vomiting and does not claim to have been punched by plaintiff. Around 6:30 p.m. on June 7, 2024, Jones sought medical treatment for nausea and possibly vomiting. Jones reported that she had slipped on a wet kitchen floor and hit her head and specifically denied losing consciousness. Um, so these is the insert from the discharge paperwork or the medical um, records that she submitted. So, whatever hospital she visited, the chief complaint was from a fall. It says from standing on the wet floor in the kitchen, fell backwards, striking posterior head on the hard floor, denies loss of consciousness. Since then, has felt weak, dizzy, nauseated. Went to urgent care and was referred to the emergency department for possible scan. And then abuse assessment because they have to do that. It says that the patient answered yes to the questions. Do you feel safe in your home? And no to the questions, are you afraid to go home? Are you afraid of your partner or someone close to you? Has your partner or someone close to you emotionally, physically, or sexually assaulted you? Has your partner or someone close to you threatened to harm or unalive you? Did your partner or someone close to you cause the presenting injuries? Has your partner or someone close to you ever used a weapon towards you? Have children witnessed violence in your home? And has your partner or someone close to you physically abused children? No report of abuse. Now, when we do personal injury cases, one thing on the plaintiff side, um, that is, how can I say this? So, whoever we are presenting this information to, whether it is to the insurance company or it is to opposing counsel, to the defense counsel, or whoever, um, one thing that you have to ensure that your medical records corroborate your story. Okay. Because one thing, anybody can submit bills and medical records to try to get money. But if your medical records doesn't specifically say how your injuries occur, and a medical doctor cannot confirm that, then what are we doing? That's just a waste of everybody's time, even this lawsuit. All right. So you can't write a demand letter and say, here are my medical records, here are my medical bills. And we read the medical records, and the medical records doesn't say anything in relation to the injuries that you're claiming that you sustained. So if she's saying, oh, I'm demanding this amount of money because I had to go to the doctor because hit me or punched me and I got, injuries sustained from that, then your medical records need to reflect that. So the doctor has to say, okay, the chief complaint is why the individual came to see the doctor. The diagnosis would be from the doctor saying, okay, we, did a scan, I did a physical examination of the individual, and this we have concluded that the injuries that was sustained was caused by this incident. So by her coming in and even saying that she fell, no way did she say that he punched her, because that's what we're going to go. It doesn't matter. You can say all day, oh, he punched you. But if you do not have tangible proof that he punched you, if your medical records does not reflect that he punched you, because if they do a CT scan or whatever type of imaging, it has to reflect something. If you had any bruising from that punch, it would have been reflected in the medical records. So I just want to put that out there. Um, Following a negative CT scan, Jones was given headache and nausea medicine, and discharged. All told, Jones was discharged for 1 hour after being admitted to the hospital. Jones and Mack attempt to extort plaintiff. Jones tried to contact plaintiff to coordinate a time to see him again. Jones wanted to schedule a dinner with plaintiff and would randomly call him in the middle of the night asking him to hang out. Jones' attempts to remain close to the plaintiff are completely inconsistent with and directly contradict her subsequent claim that plaintiff allegedly caused Jones significant emotional distress. Having failed to remain close with plaintiff, Jones opted instead to try to extort him. Jones went to a different medical provider on June 14th, so a week later, this time joined by Mack. When speaking to this new medical provider, Jones's story completely changed. Jones' new but unequivocally false story on June 14th was that she had been punched in the back of the head with a closed fist. On June 14th, Jones have attempted to refine her story with an assistance of litigation counsel. Jones now claims she was living with plaintiff and 5 weeks pregnant when plaintiff allegedly assaulted her. Emboldened by a false affidavit by Mack, signed 106 days after the alleged June 7th encounter, Jones, on November 20th, 2024, demanded more than $1 million from plaintiff. Tellingly, however, Jones was unilaterally willing to keep quiet about the imagined events of June 7th, 2024 if her extortionate demand was met, as Jones' counsel explained in her letter. Let me read this and then I'm going to break down. Let me see. Ms. Jones seeks a confidential settlement to address her damages and avoid public disclosure. She is open to signing a non disclosure agreement and does not intend to pursue criminal charges, media attention, and other public actions. So, the defense counsel, and this is where they're going to mess up at, because once so this case has been filed, the summons have been issued, so now it has to be served to her and her friend. Once they do that, they have to wait the allotted days, 20 days in Texas. Well, the Monday after the 20 days of expiration, they have to respond. After that, they will go into discovery. The first, I let me tell you something. The day that they respond to this lawsuit, I would immediately send my written discovery request that includes not only in interrogatories but requests for production. And I will request specifically medical records from anything from the day of the incident. So from June 7th all the way to present. And then once I get those medical records, what I would do, and this is what I do in every case, people don't realize that they take blood work. And one thing, that's why I was like, oh, I should also, well, I don't want to be a nurse, but, be a paralegal in the nursing field. I don't know how that works, but because I draft demand letters, in personal injury cases, I have to be familiar on how to read like the medical records. And so I've been doing this for years. So it's first second nature. First nature, second nature. One of them natures, right? One thing I will look at is I will look at, because if they take blood work, a lot of people don't realize we don't use the discharge paperwork that you would get if you went to go to the emergency room. All right, you know how they give you those papers, right? That is a fraction of what we get. So when we do request medical records, we request them through the legal department, but the records that we get are a little more extensive and a little more detailed. Well, not even a little more, a lot more detailed. So if they do their blood work, they will document on there whether or not the individual was pregnant. And I'm wondering what hospital, because if they're in Harris County, I don't know if she went to Memorial Hermann, but I know for sure that those documents will show whether or not she was pregnant. So that claim is going to be shut down. Hmm. All right, so defendant's conduct has been outrageous. Jones punched, assaulted, and injured plaintiff and destroyed his property. The same day that Jones assaulted plaintiff, which followed a long night of partying, she made a routine hospital visit for nausea and vomiting and made no claim whatsoever about allegedly being punched in the back of the head with a closed fist. When Jones failed to return to plaintiff's good graces, she teamed up with Mack to level demonstrably false accusations against plaintiff in the hopes of extracting an unjustified payment from plaintiff. Defendant's extortion attempt has failed, and plaintiff seeks redress for defendant's misconduct against him and to protect his good name and reputation. And this is the reason why he filed the lawsuit. Because once again, the plaintiff or the petitioner, whoever files the lawsuit, has the burden of proof. So if he can prove that she is not being truthful, then that's going to backfire on her. And he can prove this through medical records. Causes of action, let's see, assault. Defendant Jones is liable to plaintiff for assault. Jones unintentionally and knowingly struck plaintiff in the chest and then continued to lodge multiple punches at his chest and head. Jones also threatened plaintiff with deadly weapons. Jones knew or should have known that the plaintiff would find Jones' attack offensive and provocative, or that the contact would result in physical injury to plaintiff. Jones's assaultive conduct was insulting and injured plaintiff both physically and emotionally, and plaintiff seeks actual and exemplary damages for her malicious contact. Conversion. Jones is liable for plaintiff for conversion. Jones destroyed plaintiff's valuable wristwatch and gaming system, while plaintiff's wristwatch and PC gaming system. Oh, it was a PC. Oh man, gaming system may be repairable. Plaintiff has and will suffer damages not only from the cost to repair his property, but also the loss of use of property during the time diagnosis and repair process, as well as the diminished value of the original pristine property, particularly with respect to the watch. Because Jones destroyed this property with malice, plaintiff is entitled to exemplary damages. Trespass. Plaintiff had the lawful right to uh, to immediate possession of the apartment. Defendants Jones and Mack were told to leave the property, making their continued presence unauthorized. Indeed, Jones and Mack became trespassers when Jones exceeded her invitation to the apartment, went into the plaintiff's private space, and destroyed plaintiff's property and attacked him. Defendants intentionally and voluntarily remain on the property despite plaintiff's repeated demands that they leave, thereby interfering with plaintiff's right of possession. Plaintiff seeks nominal damages. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. So, defendant's baseless efforts to intentionally extort money from the plaintiff makes defendants liable for intentional infliction of emotional distress. Defendant's conduct was extreme and outrageous. A reasonable person would undoubtedly regard an effort to extort money using false claims as extreme and outrageous. Such behavior is beyond all possible bounds of decency and utterly intolerable in a civilized community. Defendants threatened to ruin plaintiff's career, proximately caused plaintiff severe worry, fright, and other emotional distress and mental anguish in the past and in the future, for which plaintiff seeks damages. Further, because defense acted fraudulently and maliciously, plaintiff is also entitled to exemplary damages. Although theft by extortion is a crime, the Texas legislature has not provided Texas with a private cause of action for attempt theft by extortion. Consequently, plaintiff's claim for intentional infliction of emotional distress is the only cause of action for plaintiff to seek relief for defendant's extreme and outrageous extortion scheme. Assisting or encouraging, aiding and abetting. Defendants are liable for assisting or encouraging. Defendants committed the tort of intentional infliction of emotional distress. Jones and Mack each knew the other's conducts constitute a tort, and they intended to assist and encourage and did assist and encourage each other in committing the tort. Each defendant's assistance and encouragement of the other's misconduct was a substantial factor in using the emotional distress they together intentionally inflicted on plaintiff, as in count 4. Conspiracy. Defendants agreed to unlawfully extort money from plaintiff and unlawfully cause him severe emotional distress in the process. Defendants acted with the intent to harm plaintiff, and both defendants took overt acts in furtherance to their extortion scheme. Defendant's misconduct was a substantial factor in causing plaintiff severe emotional distress, as set out in count 4. The injuries forming the basis of the suit resulted from defendant's malice and fraud, which entitles him to exemplary damages. He is seeking relief in over $250,000, but no more than $1 million. Plaintiff seeks damages within the jurisdictional limits of the court, and he is demanding a jury, and he is advised that any documentation that he retrieves, it will be used in trial if they get to that trial point. Y'all know the process of litigation by now, so I'm not going to go over it because I have told y'all time and time again. It goes filing a petition to service to discovery to depositions to mediation. If it doesn't work out in mediation, then it goes to trial. All right. He is asking for actual and special damages, exemplary damages, cost of the court, pre and post judgment interest, as well as any other uh, relief that the court deems just and proper. And there you have it. So, once again, by him filing this lawsuit, it does give him the upper hand because, once again, he has to prove all of these things. He has to prove that they tried to extort him. He has to prove that. She broke his valuables and, destruction of his property pretty much. He also has to prove that what she's saying, because pretty much she's trying to extort him, saying that he, caused injury to her. So the only thing that he could do is get the medical records that show that she wasn't injured. He could submit his repair bills for his gaming system as well as the watch. Um, and he will also have to show how this caused harm in his life, the emotional distress and all that other stuff. And then also the trespass. Like, I don't know how you can really prove that, um, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna find a way. Either cameras, showing that they, walked in, because they got cameras everywhere in downtown Houston. So it could be a matter of obtaining surveillance footage if they still have it. Like, this is 2025, and I have learned in requesting footage from anywhere, it doesn't last long. Either it's overwritten, or the cameras are just there for show, or something else. But, you know, that's the process. I'm going to keep an eye out to see how this plays out. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also, please head over to my True Crime Talk channel, YouTube channel, and definitely subscribe and turn those notifications on for any updates on some true crime videos. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. And until then, you all be blessed and I'm out. Bye.